Okay, what to say about this French performance? England have hammered them 44 points to 8. It could have been 70 points to 8. I'm going to talk about the England scoring because that's the nice bit, and that's the bit where I don't rant. Jonny May try after a minute, he does it again. Second week in a row, he scores early. Farrell missed the conversion. So Farrell's kicking missed a couple of conversions today. They weren't the easiest kicks, but that's something that needs to go back and practice a little bit. Farrell got 2 penalties in a row on 7 minutes and 12 minutes. Jonny May's second try is the best try of his 3 because he beats the man on man. Beats Penaud. Penaud, I had a nightmare today. I feel sorry for him because he's a centre playing on the wing. He's not a winger defensively. He's an inside centre. He's playing in the wrong place. That comes down to the coach. His third try, Ashton creates that with his kick ahead. Ashton's vision and rugby league nous that he's brought to Union creates that try for the hat trick for Jonny May. So well done, Jonny May today. Slade gets a try as well. The French right-hand side defence is annihilated for all these tries. Poor Penaud is hung out to dry by more senior players and the coach. The coach has put him out there. He's not a winger. It's obvious he's not comfortable defending on the wing. That's down on the coach then. Putting a young player in a defensive position like that, and he's got a lot of exposure for his attacking play today, but also his defensive play. He's a centre. Play to your strengths. If you're struggling as a side, you play to your strengths. You play your best players in the best positions. And Jacques Brunel, for some reason, has a phobia of selecting players like Teddy Thomas, who is a renowned try scorer. And he's put Uge at fullback when he's not comfortable with the high ball at the moment. He's low in confidence. So, poor coaching by Jacques Brunel. The penalty try is a penalty try. Gael Fickou takes out Ashton. So now the right-hand side of France's defence is falling apart for the next 2 tries. Fickou deserved the yellow card, fully deserved tackle man without the ball. Whether Ashton would have scored the try had he collected the ball, we'll never know. But in Nigel Owen's opinion, because Ashton wasn't allowed to pick up the ball after the kick ahead, we have to assume he would have scored the try. And we have to go with that. And that is a perfectly correct decision. Farrell's try with TMO was involved. It's a great kick ahead. It's a great contest by Jonny May for the ball. The French defender just dabs it back and Farrell is there to touch down. But yeah, no. There was a high tackle in the build-up from Poirot on an England player. And it would have been a penalty and possibly a yellow card had England not scored. And Nigel Owens at this point is refereeing with his head now. He's realised after the Carl Sinclair moment, a couple of minutes before, there's no... I don't want to give unnecessary yellow cards. I'm going to referee with common sense, which is why Nigel Owens is the best referee in the world, because the rule book, he goes, well, I'll referee with common sense at this point. The scoreline's getting big. Let's be sensible. And yeah, Carl Sinclair, pointless penalty to give away. He starts pointless coming together of players by mocking and then slapping a French player around the head, ripping his scrum cap off and giving it all that. He's got to stop doing that. That's an image we don't want to give to kids. I've criticised Owen Farrell last year for some of his attitude. Farrell was very sensible as captain today. Carl Sinclair, got to stop doing it. It doesn't matter, you're winning or losing or drawing. That attitude is in the past. We've moved on from the 80s and the 90s. We're in the 2010s. That is not acceptable in rugby union anymore, and it's not in the spirit of the game. And in a different game, in a tighter game, in an important game where it's few points in it, that could be a yellow card. Different referee, that's a yellow card. Different game, that's 2 tries conceded because of key players off the field. Carl Sinclair's got to control himself. He does this at club level a lot. He's done it at 2 internationals in a row where, he gets under the skin. I like agitating players who do that. But then you've got to back it up with making that big play, that big tackle, not carrying it on. Because last year England did this a lot and got punished. So that's something to look out for as England's discipline started to go towards the second half, which was a shame because the first half they were brilliant. Also, Jonny May's hat-trick is the first at Twickenham in the Six Nations for England in 2 years since Jonathan Joseph. Can't wait for Jonathan Joseph to be fit again. That would be fun. France's response, considering that both wingers are centres being hammered in defence. Parra's penalty was early on. This is when the penalty exchange is taking place. The game is still tight. And Penaud's try, okay, Jonny May's just had a hat-trick, but it made the game a little bit lively. It was a bit, there could be a French comeback. It's still doable. No, it's not. Penaud, ball in hand, is brilliant. As an attacking runner, he was showing signs of running the ball out. He didn't want to kick it. He wanted to run it because he's a centre. Right, let's have a look at why I'm ranting about the French. 4 outside centres were starting this game in the back line. There's only space for one of them. That's on Jacques Brunel. His selections make no sense. The constant lack of consistency of the French selection is killing the French, primarily in the backline. They chop and change their backline on a weekly basis. If you are a French rugby fan, you might as well read the newspaper the night before to figure out who's in your side. Also, Uge, a winger at fullback, after last week's performance where he spilled the ball, his confidence is low under the high ball and tracking back. Don't put him at fullback then. Put him on the wing, give him some confidence, let him play in a role that he knows well, which is a right winger. Put him at fullback when you have an out-and-out fullback on the bench. Jacques Brunel, I don't get his tactics. He's put a poor young lad, who is a young, inexperienced winger, because he's the centre on the wing. This young lad is not experienced at senior test level. Under 20s, yes, he might have won the World Cup. This is senior level. It's a baptism of fire. Yes, he has played last week and played very well last week, actually. This week, he looked nervous on the wing. Defensively, he wasn't sure where he was going to be. He's a foot and a half too far off the touchline. He's used to obviously having a defender on his outside shoulder. Inside shoulder, he doesn't have confidence. He's too far away from the rest of his defensive line. He was exposed in the first half by England. All of England's tries exposed Pennell, and I feel sorry for him because he's not a winger. He is a centre. He's still young. That's going to shatter his confidence going forward. The try might have helped, but his confidence in defence, he's going to be feeling very, very low. And I feel sorry for him, but I can see him getting chopped out and another player playing on that wing in 2 weeks' time. I really can. Another issue, the halfbacks from Clermont Auvergne. Lopez is a crap fly half. I've never seen a fly half who's so phobic of kicking for touch, relieving pressure. If the England line-out, which was their weakness today, is misfiring, target it. It's a great way to get the ball back. Instead, he's kicking to Jonny May, Slade, Farrell if he was tracking back, Daly, Ashton, Youngs. He just kicked to strike runners. He didn't kick for touch. He kicked for touch about 3 times. Camille Lopez is a shocking fly half. Tactically, he is inept. And Morgan Parrott, for some reason, can't play more than 50 minutes at the moment. So he doesn't look 100%. He's a key halfback. But Camille Lopez, God, I hope he doesn't start in 2 weeks' time because he is an inept fly half. And the French have had issues at fly half for about 20 years. Bernard Lamazon was their last real great fly half who could kick for goal and control the midfield. They have not fully replaced him in 20 years. Michalak showed flashes at times, but was too up and down, too hot and cold. But on his day, Michalak was unequal to Wilkinson or Dan Carter, but too often he was off his game, didn't feel it. But they need a fly half who can control a game. Lopez is not it. They've tried Skrilla, they've tried Thanduk, they've tried scrum halves at fly half, for Christ's sake. They have no out and out fly half at the moment who's decent. That's killing them. But all in all, the backline selection, I'm scratching my head. 4 outside centres selected, one of them in Bastro playing in position. That is a mess. That is a joke. That is not right. And it showed today in defence. Their defence, Bastro was the only player who defended in that backline correctly because he's playing in the correct position. All the other backs are playing out of position, and it showed. Their defensive coordination wasn't there. The second half was aimless. Absolutely aimless. England could have put 70, 80 points, and they took their foot off the pedal. At this point here, they were like, we're done now. And they should have kept going. They really should have kept going. Because it could come down to points scored for and against. They should have really put a hammering on this French side, and they didn't. But there we go. The French inept. And I feel sorry because Bastro was their best player. He was. Bastro, I mean, the penalty try was created by Uge in attack, but in defence, those two looked really lost. The communication wasn't there. Penno's used to being on Uge's inside shoulder. Uge's meant to be on the wing. They had an out-and-out fullback on the bench. Yes, he's young, but play him. Brunel has got to go. Jacques Brunel is killing this French side. And some of the selections are killing this French side because the players that are selected aren't good enough. Shocking. By France. Shocking. But there we go. England could have had 80 points and should have. And I'm annoyed that they let their foot off the gas. I'm really annoyed. they could have put this French side to the sword, and that is the difference between some of the sides now and the great All Black side of 2011 and 2015. Those All Black sides would slay anyone. They would put teams to the sword, and that is an issue that England need to correct. They need to be more ruthless. They had this French side for a hiding, and they gave them a hiding, but they could have put double the points on them. They really could have got 80 plus, and that would have been a fair result because the French were that bad. But there we go. I've never seen a French side play this badly. England in the first 54 minutes were excellent. Excellent. They lost their way in the second half. The changes disrupted the flow. There were a couple of injuries in there. Mako Vunipola's done a leg injury, which is unfortunate. But they could have been more ruthless. So there's space for this England side have got space for improvement, and that's scary. But there we go. The French can't get any worse, can they? Can they? I think they can. I think this French side can get worse. It can't get. It's not getting any better. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. That was a humiliation of the French today. They need to. Jacques Brunel's got to go. Simple. That coach is killing this French side. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Place your comments below, and I'll have some more videos for you soon.